Stop everything. Right now. Freeze this moment and listen, because what I am about to tell you will shake the ground beneath your doubt. At exactly 3:33 this morning, something shattered in the spiritual realm. A door that has been locked for 1,479 days swung wide open. And out of 4.7 million people scrolling right now, only 447 were chosen to see this. You are one of them. Not because you are perfect, because you finally crossed the line the enemy swore you would never reach. Type 777 in the comments right now. Not later. Not after you think about it. Right now. Because when those numbers leave your fingers, you are not just commenting. You are activating a spiritual contract that was written before the foundations of the world. You are giving permission for what I am about to release. This is not coincidence. This is divine collision. You have no idea what just happened, but the moment you refused to quit, when everything in you screamed to break and you whispered no, something eternal opened over your life. You thought nothing moved, but I tell you now, everything moved. Chains shattered in realms you cannot see. Doors unlocked in dimensions beyond your understanding. And all of heaven stood in stillness because you finally did it. I know why you are really here. 3 nights ago, you were awake at 2:47 a.m. Not just awake. Lying there doing calculations that never add up. The bills arriving faster than the paychecks. The dreams that keep getting postponed. The breakthrough that was supposed to happen by now, but somehow keeps slipping through your fingers like water. I saw you. Not just that night. I saw you 6 months ago in that parking lot, hand on the steering wheel, unable to go inside yet because you needed 5 more minutes to pull yourself together. I watched you check your bank account at 11:47 p.m., hoping the numbers would somehow change overnight. I saw your hands tremble when you opened the email you already knew would say no. I saw the exact moment your smile became a mask. The split second when you decided to stop telling people the truth about what you were going through because their advice was making it worse. I watched you delete the text you were about to send asking for help because you convinced yourself nobody really cares anyway. I witnessed the night you sat on the bathroom floor at 3:33 a.m., too exhausted to cry anymore. Just staring at the wall, wondering how much longer you could keep pretending everything was fine. I saw you calculate how many more months you could hold on before everything collapsed. I heard the thoughts you were too ashamed to pray out loud. I watched you scroll through social media, seeing everyone else's breakthrough posts, their blessing testimonies, their miracle stories, and wondering why everyone else gets theirs but yours keeps getting delayed. I felt the weight of the question you kept asking, what am I doing wrong? Why does everyone else seem to have the formula figured out except me? I saw you in the grocery store doing mental math, putting things back on the shelf, choosing between what you need and what you can afford. I watched you avoid calls from numbers you did not recognize because you already knew they were collection agencies. I saw the pile of unopened mail on your counter because you could not handle one more bill, one more notice, one more reminder of how behind you were. I watched the betrayal break your heart. The friend who became a stranger overnight. The business partner who took what was not theirs. The family member who chose sides and it was not yours. I saw the door slam shut on what you thought was the only way forward. The job offer that fell through. The relationship that ended without explanation. The opportunity that was supposed to change everything but evaporated like morning mist. I witnessed you smile on the outside while everything inside you was screaming. The Monday mornings you showed up to work with makeup covering the fact that you cried all weekend. The church services where you lifted your hands while your heart was completely numb. The family gatherings where you played your role perfectly while dying inside from loneliness. That was supposed to be the end of your story. The enemy had a meeting about you. 17 demonic entities gathered in council and declared your deadline. They said you would quit by October. They said the pressure would be too much. They said you would walk away before the promise manifested. But look at you, still breathing, still believing, still listening for my voice. You don't know it yet, But what you just stepped into is the fulfillment of a promise I whispered to you 7 years ago. Everything since then tried to make you forget. The delays, the disappointments, the people who walked away without warning, the opportunities that collapsed at the last moment. All of it was a strategic assault designed to keep you from this exact second. But you made it. And that is insane to every demon in hell. Type, I see it now, if you are recognizing the pattern. Because what I am about to show you will connect dots you thought were random. Stay till the end. Your obedience in the next 3 minutes will determine what unfolds in the next 3 months. Let me pull back the curtain and show you what has been happening while you were sleeping. For 479 days, there has been a demonic assignment operating against your finances, your relationships, your peace, and your destiny. This was not general spiritual warfare. This was targeted, specific, orchestrated. Let me tell you exactly how it worked. They knew what you carried. They saw the blueprint of your future before you ever stepped into it. So they held a council meeting on the date your breakthrough was supposed to manifest. 17 demonic entities gathered. They assigned one to your finances to make sure money leaked out faster than it came in. They stationed one at your door to ensure the right connections never made it to you. They placed one over your sleep to torment you with anxiety at 2:47 a.m. every single night. They built a legal case in the courts of heaven, claiming rights to delay your breakthrough based on generational patterns. They pulled up your grandfather's mistakes. They referenced your mother's unresolved bitterness. They pointed to the covenant your great-grandmother made with fear during the Depression. They documented every moment you believed the lie that you were not enough. Every time you agreed with their narrative, they added it to the file. They sent spirits of confusion to cloud your discernment so you could not tell the difference between God's voice and your own anxiety. They deployed spirits of delay to make sure every opportunity arrived 3 months too late. They assigned spirits of isolation to remove people from your life who would have reminded you who you really were. They used spirits of distraction to keep you busy with things that felt urgent but were spiritually irrelevant. But here is what they did not count on. They did not know that while they were building their case, I was running a counter-operation. They were so focused on attacking you that they never saw my angels gathering evidence for your defense. At 11:11 p.m. on the night you almost gave up, the night you whispered, "I cannot do this anymore," I dispatched 3 warring angels with sealed orders. 1 to your finances, 1 to your future, 1 to your family line. They have been in courtrooms you cannot see, presenting evidence they have been collecting for 1,479 days. They recorded every prayer you prayed that felt like it bounced off the ceiling. They gathered every tear you cried when nobody was watching. They documented every moment you chose obedience even when it made no logical sense. They collected evidence of your faithfulness in the wilderness. They saved transcripts of every worship song you sang through the pain. They kept records of every time you blessed someone else while your own blessing was delayed. And 72 hours ago, at exactly 3:33 in the morning, the verdict came down in heaven's court. The enemy's legal claim expired. The assignment against you has been terminated. The spiritual surveillance over your life has been revoked. The door he locked is now open, and there is nothing he can do about it. Let me tell you what is about to happen in the next 7 days, as confirmation that this message is not random emotion, but divine precision. Within 72 hours, someone you have not heard from in over 3 years will contact you. They will say something that sounds like they read your journal. This is not coincidence. This is heaven's way of showing you that what I speak is already in motion. Within 7 days, watch for a financial surprise. It might be small, it might be significant, but the amount will contain the numbers 3, 7, or 11, 377, 1700, 3300. Something that makes you remember this moment. When you see it, you will know I orchestrated this conversation. You will have a dream unlike your usual dreams. More vivid, more significant. The details will feel prophetic. Write them down the moment you wake. This is me giving you a preview of what is coming in the natural realm. Listen closely now because I need to tell you about Maria from Phoenix. 3 weeks ago, Maria typed 777 while sitting in her car about to be evicted. Her hands were shaking so hard she could barely hold her phone. She had stopped opening mail because it was all bad news. She was 14 days away from losing everything. Her landlord had already filed the paperwork. Her bank account was negative $177. She had been applying for jobs for 8 months with no callbacks. She had sold everything she could sell. She was out of options and out of hope. She almost did not type those numbers. Her mind told her, this is stupid. This is not real. This is just another disappointment waiting to happen. But something deeper than logic made her fingers move. She typed 777 and closed her eyes. She did not even believe anything would happen. She just did not have the strength to resist anymore. Within 68 hours, not 72 but 68, she received a phone call from a law office about a class action settlement from a company she had worked for 9 years ago. She had completely forgotten she even signed the paperwork. They said a check was being overnighted to her. $47,700 deposited into her account 5 days later. She paid off every bill. She paid 3 months' rent in advance. She bought groceries without calculating. And she sent me a message yesterday, still crying tears of gratitude, saying the hardest part was believing it was actually real and not about to be taken away. David in Chicago typed 444 while parked outside a hospital where his mother had just been given 3 months to live. Stage 4. Inoperable. The doctor said take her home and make her comfortable because there is nothing else we can do. David was angry. He was broken. He had prayed for years and watched his mother get sicker. He told me later he typed those numbers out of desperation mixed with fury. He said, if you are real, prove it in a way I cannot deny. Because I am done with empty promises and spiritual platitudes. 72 hours later, his mother's doctor called him back for another scan because something did not add up. The tumors they said were inoperable had shrunk by 73% in 3 days. No medical intervention. No new treatment. No logical explanation. The doctor called 3 specialists to review the scans because he could not believe what he was seeing. He used the word miraculous in the report. David's mother is still alive 6 months later. The cancer is 91% gone. David subscribes now. He shares every message. He sends super thanks every week. Because he knows what happened was not natural medicine. It was supernatural intervention that activated the moment he obeyed in his anger. Jennifer in Atlanta was 3 months behind on rent, about to lose custody of her daughter because she could not provide stable housing, and had given up on prayer entirely. She had been a worship leader. She had been the person everyone called when they needed prayer. But when her own life fell apart, when her husband left, and her job was eliminated, and her savings evaporated, she stopped believing any of it was real. She almost scrolled past this message. She told me she had her thumb on the screen ready to swipe when something made her freeze. A voice she had not heard in months whispered, "Just try one more time." She typed 777, even though she did not believe anything would change. She expected nothing. 5 days later, a company she applied to 8 months prior called with a job offer. She had given up on them months ago. They said the position had been filled, but the person quit after 2 weeks, and they remembered her interview. $83,700 salary, full benefits, relocation assistance, sign-on bonus of $7,000. She moved to a different city. Her daughter is thriving. Her ex-husband is now asking to be part of their lives again because he saw the transformation. And she tells everyone who will listen that heaven does not abandon those who refuse to quit, even when quitting makes more sense than believing. Marcus from Dallas was a week away from filing bankruptcy. He had made one bad business decision that created a domino effect of disaster. He lost his company. His partners sued him. His wife almost left. He was drinking every night to numb the shame. He watched this message at 1:11 a.m., unable to sleep under the weight of failure. He typed 333 and said out loud, "If this is real, I need a sign I cannot rationalize away." 11 days later, a man he had done business with 7 years ago called him completely out of the blue. Said he had been thinking about him and felt compelled to reach out. They met for coffee. The man offered to invest $370,000 in a new venture and said something that made Marcus cry. He said, "I know you think you failed, but I watched how you handled the loss, and that is the character I want to partner with." Sarah from Miami typed 777 while sitting in a parking lot after another failed IVF treatment. She and her husband had spent $117,000 trying to have a baby. Every treatment failed. Every hope was crushed. The doctors told her it was medically impossible. Her body would never carry a child. She was 43 years old. She was done. But something made her type those numbers anyway. 3 months later, she went to the doctor for what she thought was stress. She was 7 weeks pregnant. Natural conception. No medical intervention. The doctor said he has no explanation. Her son was born healthy 8 months ago. She named him Promise, because that is what happened when she stopped trying to make it happen and finally surrendered to divine timing. These are not made-up stories to manipulate your emotions. These are real people with real testimonies who obeyed when obedience made no logical sense. And now their stories are unlocking faith for someone reading these words right now. That someone is you. So here is what you must do in the next 24 hours. Not next week. Not when you feel ready. In the next 24 hours. I am about to give you 3 doors. And your obedience to close them will determine how fast the blessing arrives. Door number 1. There is a relationship draining you. You know exactly who I am talking about. The person who only calls when they need something. The one who makes you feel guilty for having boundaries. Delete their contact. Stop responding. I am removing them so I can replace them with covenant connections who multiply what I have placed in you. Door number 2. There is a habit you do in private that you think does not matter. The scrolling at night that steals your sleep. The spending that makes you feel better for an hour but worse for a week. The pattern you keep repeating even though you know it is sabotaging your progress. Stop it. Today. Not tomorrow. Today. That pattern has a demonic assignment attached to it, and I cannot release the next level while you are still feeding the old one. Door number 3. There is something you have been too afraid to do. A conversation you need to have. An application you need to submit. A call you need to make. You have been waiting for the perfect moment. This is it. The perfect moment is not when you feel ready. It is when you obey afraid. Take the action within 24 hours. Watch what I do with your obedience. Now here is what else you must do. Share this message with exactly 3 people within 24 hours. Not 4. Not 2. 3. Do you know what happens when 3 agree in the spiritual realm? Mountains move. Strongholds collapse. Heaven releases what earth has been begging for. When you share with 3, you create a triple cord agreement that cannot be broken. Like this video right now. This is not about the algorithm. This is about alignment. When you press like, you are telling heaven, I agree with what was just spoken over my life. I receive it. I activate it. I step into it. Subscribe and turn on all notifications. I am not building a channel. I am gathering an army, and you are part of it. The messages coming in the next 30 days will prepare you for battles you do not even see coming yet. Stay connected. Stay ready. Stay obedient. But let me warn you about something critical. In the next 48 hours, the enemy will launch a counterattack. This is not fear. This is preparation. I am telling you what to expect so you are not caught off guard. A sudden argument will erupt out of nowhere. Someone will say something that triggers an old wound. Bad news will arrive in your inbox or your mailbox. The person you were supposed to cut off will contact you with a guilt message designed to pull you back. Your mind will whisper that this was all emotional manipulation, that nothing is really changing, that you fell for hype again. That is the test. Most people fail here. They close the doors I told them to close, and then they reopen them 3 days later when the pressure comes. Do not be most people. When the counterattack comes, speak this declaration out loud. I see you. I recognize this for what it is, and I am not going back. The enemy's goal is to make you doubt in the dark what God revealed in the light. Do not give him that victory. Hold your ground. The breakthrough is on the other side of this test. Now let me release blessing after blessing over you in rapid succession. Receive every word. May your finances overflow until giving becomes your greatest joy. May money chase you down until you have to find creative ways to give it away. May opportunities knock so loudly you become selective about which doors to open. May debt that took years to accumulate be wiped out in days by favor you did not work for. May your bank account reflect the generosity of a God who owns cattle on 1,000 hills and silver and gold in every mountain. May your body respond to heaven's frequency instead of earth's diagnosis. May pain that has lingered for years pack its bags and leave suddenly. May energy return that you thought was gone forever. May sleep come easy and deep. May your mind find rest even in the middle of chaos. May depression lose its grip and anxiety lose its voice. May your body become a testimony of supernatural healing that doctors cannot explain. May relationships that drained you be replaced with connections that multiply you. May the right people find you without you having to chase them. May divine alliances form that feel like coming home. May your children rise into their destinies with momentum you never had. May your family line be redirected from cycles of poverty and pain into patterns of blessing and breakthrough. May peace guard your heart even when circumstances say panic. May clarity come in moments of confusion. May wisdom flow when decisions feel impossible. May discernment sharpen so you recognize spirits before they introduce themselves. May your spirit become so sensitive to my voice that you know before I finish speaking. May doors open that no man can shut. May favor follow you into rooms you were never invited to. May promotion come not because you climbed, but because I lifted. May your gifts make room for you in places your resume could never access. May influence increase not for ego, but for impact. May purpose awaken that has been dormant for decades. May the thing you thought was over breathe again. May dreams you buried come back to life with supernatural acceleration. May vision return sharper than before. May passion reignite for what you were created to carry. May generational curses be broken off your bloodline today. May addictions lose their power. May shame lose its voice. May guilt lose its grip. May the past lose its hold. May tomorrow become something you run toward instead of something you fear. This is not a prayer. This is a prophetic declaration. Receive it. Now let me tell you why this moment has an expiration. This is what the Greeks called kairos time, not regular time, appointed time, divine timing. Heaven has opened a window, but windows do not stay open forever. You have a choice to make right now that will determine where you are 3 years from today. Future 1. You close this video. You feel inspired for a moment. Tomorrow returns to normal. The conviction fades. The urgency disappears. 3 years from now, you are sitting in the same place, still waiting, still hoping, still wondering when your breakthrough will come, still dealing with the same battles, still stuck in the same cycles. Future 2. You obey the instructions. You close the 3 doors. You share with 3 people. You type your declaration in the comments. And 72 hours from now, you are texting someone saying, "You will not believe what just happened." 3 months from now, you are unrecognizable. 3 years from now, your testimony is unlocking faith in others who are where you used to be. The choice is yours. But choose now. Heaven is watching. Angels are waiting. And this moment will not come around again. Type, "I choose breakthrough," in the comments right now. Your declaration matters. Your agreement activates heaven's response. Do not just read it. Speak it. Type it. Seal it. Before you leave this space, I need you to do 3 more things. Press hype on this video. Raise this message where more hearts can encounter the moment you just stepped into. When you hype this message, you are not boosting content. You are lifting a beacon. You are announcing to heaven and earth that you recognize the hour you have been brought into. Then bless it with your like. Seal your agreement with the breakthrough I have spoken over you. Every action you take becomes part of the mission I am unfolding through this word. And subscribe. Do not drift from the sound of my voice. You were brought here by divine leading, not accident. I have more to reveal, more to heal, more to awaken inside you. When you subscribe, you align yourself with a stream of living words that will guide your steps, steady your heart, and prepare you for what I am releasing next. Stay connected. I am not finished speaking into your destiny. You are seen. You are known. You are chosen. You finally did it. And now I am about to reveal what for such a time as this really means. Your testimony begins the moment you believe this was orchestrated, not random. Walk forward. The enemy thought this moment would never come, but you are standing in it, and everything changes from here. Amen.